Alright, so let's run over this application real quick. The easiest way to find the CIB website, in my opinion, is just to Google Oklahoma CIB, something, something, backslash something, I don't know. But let's just Google search it. And then you can either go straight to the main website right here, or you can just click on Forms and Applications. And we're the mechanical industry, so just check mechanical industry. And then right here, mechanical license application. That's where you want to be. Open that up. It's a PDF format. This is where that $330. We're mostly going to talk about the contractor's prep stuff right here. So if you're going to do the contractor stuff, this is where you're going to send in that $330. If you're a journeyman, if you're sending off for a journeyman, $75. Okay. Read this first page, read this second page, and alright, 1, 2, and 3 is just basic information: your name, your address, your email address, and your social security number. And I've had a lot of people get these sent back because they forget to put their social security number on there for whatever reason, like they're waiting in case they lose it or whatever. So if you're going to be one of those people, just make sure that you put it on there before you mail it off, okay? 3 is just your telephone number, your birth date, all that good stuff, general information. Number 4 talks about the education, and it says attach a copy of a transcript from colleges, universities, or trade schools that are approved by the committee. So if you're going to use your school, like OSUIT, for that 4,000 hours, then right here you're going to check yes, and you're going to send them a copy of your transcript. So don't forget to put a copy of your transcript in there. That's how you'll get the 4,000 hours for attending OSUIT. Number 6, I've never had anybody, I don't know a single person that did this limited residential journeyman, so I kind of just pretend like it doesn't exist. I don't know anything about it. We're all going to either be taking the journeyman's test or the contractor's test. And so if you're going to take the contractor, you put your check right here. So I want to take the contractor's test. On to number 7. Number 7 asks if you want to be a limited or an unlimited journeyman or contractor. We're going to pretend you're doing the contractor's test. So right here is where you're going to pick. If you want to be limited, it's a little bit easier test. It'll be 10 less questions. But the thing is that it is 25 tons or less. So I mean that's a pretty big package unit, or 500,000 BTUs or less of heat. Most people take the unlimited, it seems like, but you've got to have experience in the unlimited field before you can test for the unlimited test. Alright, so that's where you're going to pick, limited or unlimited. Number 8, leave it alone. I'm going to say it one more time. Number 8, leave it alone. Don't check anything, because whenever you take your contractor's test or whenever you take your journeyman's test, you're going to get a refrigeration license, you're going to get a sheet metal license, you'll get the natural gas and process piping. These are more like standalone tests. If you just want to be a sheet metal person, sheet metal only, you can go take just a sheet metal test. I know a handful of people out there, but all of us, for the most part, I've never had anyone try to do a standalone test. So just pretend like 8 doesn't exist. Don't do anything with 8. Number 9 is probably the number 1 reason why applications get returned. You must put a checkbox on 9, and let's read it together. It says, I agree to read the Mechanical Licensing Act and industry regulations and will comply with them. So you check it, and then you're going to sign right here and date it in front of a notary. This is going to be the first place that you go get your signature notarized right here. There's 3 places on this application that have to be notarized, okay? So that's the first one right there. Alright, going down here, your certifier. You have to have a certifier that knows you, has personal experience, and knows that you have X amount of time that you're claiming or whatever. So again, if you're going for your contractors, you got to have 8,000 hours. You get 4,000 hours for school. So this application, this part of it right here, this affidavit, if you're attaching a transcript, you get 4,000 hours. So this affidavit is how you get your other 4,000 hours right here. So you're going to have to take this to somebody, a service manager, It can be your neighbor, it can be anybody, it can be your aunt, it can be your it can be your neighbor, no joke. And so they're going to put their name right here. I'm sorry, to put your name right here on the applicant's name. Your certifier, if it's your neighbor, whatever, Jenny's going to put her name right here. If she's licensed in the mechanical or licensed by the CIB, she puts it here. If she's not, she just checks not licensed. So if you got grandma filling it out, or your neighbor Jenny, or whoever, they don't have to be in the HVAC world. It just has to be someone that has personal knowledge of your mechanical experience. So your name, their name, what company you work for, your neighbor Jenny's phone number right there, address, excuse me, and then type of work performed. Most of us can get away with, like, we're service techs, so you just put commercial and industrial service, or you could, whatever work you're performing, put it right there. If it's something odd or specific, like you're working for a manufacturer or something like that, you may want to put C attached, and then attach a paper that actually spells out your work that you're performing. The next thing is your employment start date. Whenever you started that job, if it was August 2014, then that's what goes right there. And then your end date, or if you're still employed, just put still employed. And then again, so in my example, you're taking the contractor's test, you got 4,000 hours for school, plus you had 2,000 hours already to take your journeyman's test, and so now you're going for your contractors, 8,000 hours, but still, when you fill this out, your transcript from here gives you 4,000 hours, and so this part on this affidavit better say something greater than 4,000 hours to equal the 8,000 hours. So I'm going to say it one more time. Get 4,000 hours for your transcript, and then you got to have at least 4,000 hours of in the field experience before you're eligible for taking the contractor's test. So run over this with your neighbor or whoever it is that's going to sign this off, be your certifier, and make sure that everyone's on the same page. And again, it has to be someone that has personal experience. This next part, again, nobody's taking the limited residential journeyman. So right here, you're going to check either limited or unlimited. And so most of you guys are going to be taking the unlimited, it seems like. So you're going to check unlimited as long as you've been working in the field doing unlimited work, working on things larger than 25 tons, okay? So right here where it says size of the AC equipment worked on, it wants to know minimum and maximum. So if the smallest thing you worked on was a 2-ton or whatever, you put a 2 right there. And if you worked on a 150-ton chiller, you put 150 tons right here. But again, if you're going to take the unlimited test, it has to be something bigger than 25 tons. And then on the heat side, it wants to know minimum and maximum. So if the smallest thing you've worked on is a 50,000 BTU furnace, then just right here put 50,000. Or you put 50K or whatever for 50,000, and then what's the biggest boiler, what's the biggest package unit, biggest whatever, it has to be, again, it's got to be bigger than 500,000 BTUs. So if you're going to take the unlimited test, you have to have unlimited experience, okay? Things that are larger than 25 tons and more than 500,000 BTUs of heat. So if the largest boiler that you've worked on was 3 million or whatever, then just put a 3 mil right here. There you go. Moving along, you're going to leave these alone again. Don't check any of these because you're going to get all of them. This notarized section right here is for your certifier. So whoever certifies this, if it's going to be your neighbor Jenny, then you're going to take it to her, let her fill all this out, and she's going to go get this notarized and then bring it back to you. So she's going to fill it out, she's going to sign it, date it in front of the notary, and the notary is going to notarize it, she's going to bring it back to you, and that part's done. This last page is just proving that you have a lawful presence in the United States. It's pretty straightforward. One thing that people do mess up on, like, don't put anything over here. Don't put anything at all right here, at all. Only thing you gotta do is print your name, and then most people are gonna check that they're a U.S. citizen, check whatever applies to you. So print, check, and then sign it, and go get this one notarized. So your signature's gotta be notarized 2 times, your certifier's gotta be notarized 1 time, and that's it. You mail this thing off with your money order. If you're wanting to take the journeyman's test, it's going to be a $75 money order. If you want to take the contractor's test, it's going to be $330. And then you're going to mail this off to the CIB, and after they approve it, they will mail you your PIN number for you to go on to psiexams.com. Alright. Let me know if you guys need anything.